Isaac here, welcoming you into the new year 2025 with a bang. Before we dive in with today's excitement, let's take a moment to celebrate another year, another chance to grow our wealth. If you have been following me on this journey, you will know that I set myself a challenge to grow 15,000 US dollars in trading. And guess what? We started off on a good note. So I'm going to walk you through what exactly transpired in today's trade. Now, for those who don't know me, my name is Isaac Jonas, and I like to talk about money, about the market. So if you follow me on social media, you will know that I post quite a lot of content on YouTube and other social media platforms talking about what's going on in the markets. Now, I am trained as an economist, and I have 2 master's degrees from the University of British Columbia. And I love to trade and also to invest for the long term as a retail investor, primarily focusing on the US and Canadian capital markets. Now, I dived into this journey of content creation with the view to educate and share my experience to the audience who may particularly be interested about my content. So I remember I uploaded my first video, particularly focusing on the financial insights in the markets. It was for December 2023. And I'm so excited to see how this journey has been unfolding. Now, in this challenge that I set myself, I started off with 15,000. If you watch the other video, you see that I did my first trade and then I was profitable in that trade. And now I did another trade. But before we get started, I just want to make sure that I am clear that trading comes with risks. For me, this is a journey that I've been on for quite some time. I started trading and also investing in 2020, and I'm also trained as an economist. So I have a bit of a fairly strong background in understanding how the markets move. In that regard, that's also another important thing. So this is something that I always tell people to say the first thing, if you want to make money, you really have to educate yourself. But in as much as we like to make money in the market, there are some days that we can lose money. So it's very, very important that you do things that you are comfortable with and avoid losing your money. Now, like I said, you can see this is my account that I showed you in the previous video. You can see that today I made about $116, $25, 25 cents. This is in Canadian dollars. But I walk you through exactly how I took the trade and how it unfolded, and also do a bit of technical analysis of how I pick these trades. But you can see that I first off bought 300 shares for a security that is called UVIX. It's a leveraged ETF that tracks the VIX, the volatility index. And I've also explained in the previous video to say I've observed actually in the year 2024, I was just paying particular attention to see the relationship between the equities market. If the S&P 500, for example, drops, this VIX spikes because a lot of people are scared. So I'm capitalizing on that, buying and selling, but I'm a little bit careful in how I do it because I don't just trade this one security. I also do technical analysis to make sure that the stocks are in a zone that I can profit, or I understand, or I believe that it can give me some profit. But again, trading is about using probability to say, if this stock goes from this point, I will exit at this point to make a profit. If it doesn't, I cut my losses. So now you see that this is a screenshot from my broker. Of course, I have other brokerage accounts that I trade, but I'm just purposefully sharing this because I want to just keep a bit of my other financial position private. But you see that I bought 300 shares at this level, $323.21, and I bought 300, 300, 300. And for this particular account, I bought 900, but it was at this level. The other shares I bought for the other accounts. But you see that I bought at this level, and this red arrow, you can see that that's where I sold, right? And you can see this is the security. So it has a ticker name of UVIX, and it is twice leveraged. In other words, it goes up twice as much as the VIX, right? But likewise, it also goes twice as much if the VIX drops. So it is an leveraged ETF. In other words, it can magnify potentially the profits, but also the losses as well. So you can see this is the time that I took the trades, but I believe from my broker, this is New York time, that is Eastern Standard Time. But for me, it's early morning in Pacific Standard Time. So this is the trade that I took. Like I said, I got in and then I made 75 US dollars. But today I was playing with my son and I was not really like I didn't have time. So I just took this quick trade. But I also had gone in another trade for this other ETF that tracks NVIDIA. But I had to then quickly shift my attention to my son and then I just had to just close the position. But I'm going to walk you through what I do and on a live platform so that you can actually see how I get to then choose the entry and exit level. So this is a platform that is called TradingView. This year I'm very serious about trading. So I subscribed for this. I think it was about 66 Canadian dollars a month. But the good thing is I won't have adverts, but it also has other options and it's cleaner. If you watched some of my videos, you will see that sometimes adverts would pop, but I'm taking this trading seriously because it has been paying some of my bills. So this is the ticker name, right? So these are some of the stocks that I track, but I do have to just quickly walk you through here. I like to just, if I'm day trading, like in this case, I got in and I got out within a few minutes the same day. I like to use a 1 minute chart. But what this means is that each candle that you see here, it shows you what transpired in 1 minute. If I then look at 15 minutes, that means this candle will show you what transpired in 1 minute, in 15 minutes. So at the end of the day, what I've observed is that I also like to use the moving average to say if this stock that I will be, or a security that I will be trading is above this line, that's when I want to get in. In other words, I want to capture this upward momentum. So this is the moving average indicator. But I also do a bit of analysis to say what is happening in terms of the macroeconomic news. Is there something that can potentially cause the market to spike? Or in this case, I observed that the S&P 500 index, mostly the equities were dropping. But however, I have some resistance levels that I can see. For example, you can see that I got in it around at this level. If you recall, this is New York Standard Time. You can recall from that screenshot that I got in at this point, right? So I noticed that there was a demand zone, but of course I was projecting into the future, but I observed that there was a resistance at that level. So I then took a trade and got out around this point. So you see, because I had 900 shares, and that was about 900. I think 900 shares, that would be $3. $3 21 times 900, right? So that's the investment, and I walk you through the details. So you see that even though it really went up and down in that 1 minute, right? It's very volatile. But for me, I am looking at this, but I also want to look at the relative strength indicator to say if it is below this line, right, 50%, I like, especially if it's around like below $30, it means that particular stock is oversold, right? When it's oversold, it's more likely now to go up. In other words, it's like if you take an elastic and you stretch it further, right, and you then release that, it comes back. So that's what happens to say there are buyers here and they are also sellers, like you can see here, right? This was a supply zone. In other words, sellers were in control, right? So what happens is if a stock then comes to this level, it's more likely to bounce back. So once I know that they have a supply zone there, I then say, okay, look, I want to get in at this point, and once I get to this point, I want to exit, right? Because usually stocks, if it doesn't get through, there is a probability that it will go down. And I just want to capture this momentum for a few minutes. And if I, let's say, if I have 5,000 or 10,000 shares, that's a lot of money. But also, if a trade doesn't go my way, I like to have a level that I would exit. So what that means is that I want to do a bit of analysis and say, look, if it goes down, if I got in at $3.21, if it goes down by 3 cents, if I lose maybe 30 cents if I'm day trading, then that's fine. Then the upside, if it goes up, to make $3, right? So that's really about trading. So you can see here that if you look at SPY, for example, um, it was really like dropping here. Let me just, so you can see that if I look at SPY, which is an ETF that tracks S&P 500, you can see around the time that I got into that trade, it's around this, and I was telling you about the inverse relationship, right? That it was dropping. You see here, SPY, it was dropping at this point, and then the VIX was spiking. So it goes in inverse relationship, right? So that's what I do. I basically just either trade the VIX or equities like NVIDIA or SPY in that through leveraged ETFs, right? So that I understand the relationship, that there's the inverse relationship. But again, it's more than just that, because I will show you in a second here. But I just want to just show you that I said I'm taking this as seriously. I downloaded this from TradeZilla. It's a journal, and I want to journal my trades. You can see here, this is the profit that I've made so far in US dollar terms, right? And commission. And so far, I've had like those three trades. The other one for NVIDIA, it was just, I didn't play out well because I had to give attention to my son. So you can see that these are the trades that I've taken in this account. And I am tracking everything here, and then just looking to see and to learn from this process. I will be updating you as I go forward. So let me go back to the presentation here. So this is the chart that I showed you. But as I wrap up, I just want to make sure that if you want to learn more about this, feel free to contact me on Streetwise Economics, streetwiseeconomics.com. But the idea when I'm trading is I don't just gamble my money. I look at the macroeconomics. That means I do fundamental analysis. I look at the news, things that are more likely to move the markets. And again, it's just probability. Nothing is guaranteed in this market. And then I do technical analysis, the charting that I was telling you, to say, okay, this is the demand and the resistance level. It's more likely to get from this point to that point. And then once I decide to get in, I have a trading plan. I know I want to get in at this point and get out at that point. That's what I do. And like I said, this is something that I take seriously. So I'm not going to rely to say I'm going to rely, I have to make this amount of money. If the market gives me 5,000 or 2,000 in a month, that's fine. If in a month, maybe I lose $1,000, that's fine, but I will do my best, of course, to cut the losses. But losses are inevitable in this. So it is therefore important to master emotions and have a trading plan. So there's a lot of nuances that comes to this. And a lot of people, when they see that, "Oh, I've made this amount in 40 minutes, I also do quite a lot of research and analysis. So that's something that I would like to have a conversation if you want to learn more about this. But I really appreciate you tuning into this video, and I will be updating you as the year progresses. But I hope 2025 is going to be an epic year for all of you. If you also want to follow me on X and on Facebook. via these names. And if you want to book a one-on-one coaching session on how to invest in the markets, feel free to book for a slot on streetwiseeconomics.com. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Trade and invest wisely. I'm signing out for now. Bye-bye. Thank you again.